Hello and welcome. It's Renita Lowry here, and this is the Ad Rotator class on getting organized. And I have a really good quote here. It's a one that I made actually. It's real understanding is the beginning of true change, and I really believe that. And so we're putting everything together that we had before, and this is the sort of the final step in having you move forward with your Ad Rotator business. So, to be successful, you have to be organized. You absolutely have to. You have to be organized and have an inner drive to take action. So, today is a time to succeed. Now is a time to succeed. So, you have your website set up. You've chosen your marketing methods, at least three of them, so that you've got a variety of things happening. We talked about that before. Now you're ready to organize your time and to fit your ad rotator business into your schedule. Now, you have to look at ad rotator as being the same as if you're on the job somewhere, except that you're the boss and you control everything. So that's a huge difference. Now, there's no pressure, but you know what that means. It means your success depends on you. Now, I want to just, before we get into all of this, I want to just caution you. When you're working at home, you get interrupted, and I'll go into that in a minute. Things happen. Of course, if there's an emergencies, you have to stop what you're doing and you have to help family. So that's understandable. But there are interruptions from people that don't take you seriously. They don't understand that you're working. And so they want to call and chat, and they think you have all the time in the world and they can call you at any time. But that's not the case. You're at home and you're working. So you have to have a plan for handling that. And I mean, you can tell them very nicely what you're doing, and you can also sort of plan little things with them too. Like you can plan to have lunch with them, or to have call time with them, chat time with them, and sort of put that into your schedule as well. So you can work around that. But this is just a caution that this can be a problem when you're working at home, especially full time. So let's get organized. So we got to do some planning. Now, important steps, of course, this is also a slide from the very, very first one that I did. You need to focus, stay laser focused on ad rotator. You have to get rid of distractions if you're going to make this work and if this is going to give you the income that you're wanting. And you need to prioritize tasks in order to get the business done. So that's really super important. Now, just before we get into it, I want to talk to you about a success story. And believe it or not, this is from 100 years ago. And I can't remember the players, the names of the people. I just remember the story because it really impacted me. Now, there was a business, and the owner of the business was wanting it to go better. It wasn't doing what he wanted it to do. So he hired a consultant. And he said to this fellow, well, how much are you going to charge me? And the consultant said, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to, consult and do what I do with your business. And then in 3 months' time, if you're happy with the results, just give me what you think I'm worth. And so what this consultant did is he went to each manager in the business and spent time with them personally. And what he said to them, he said that he wanted them to list the top 6 things that they wanted to accomplish each day. And, if there was something that they didn't accomplish from one day, they can put it on to the next day. So what they did is they did this on a daily basis. Probably the night before, they took a look at what was going on and they made their list for the very next day. And what happened was absolutely amazing. In 3 months, this business had turned around so much that the owner gave this consultant $250,000. That was 100 years ago. So you can imagine this owner was so grateful for the results in his business in such a short time. That would be worth millions upon millions in today's money. So with Ad Rotator, I know, we have things that you're doing, and Ad Rotator needs to be on a list, and it needs to be in the top 3 of your list that you're doing on a daily basis if you're serious about the business and want to make good money with Ad Rotator. Now let's set up the business. There's a physical office, tools and schedules, and here's a really nice picture of a home office. And so you can see there's different things here, computer, and there should be a phone and different kinds of things. But I have to tell you, I have to share with you, my office does not look neat like this. It's got papers all over. It's like organized chaos. And one of the reasons is that I write things down. I write ideas down. If I'm on a training or something, I always take notes. And I'm going to just share something with you. It's from that How to Win series, that when you write things down, even if you don't ever look at that piece of paper again, your mind will remember it. Better than if you had just sort of sat there passively and watched something. So the act of actually writing something down to something in your brain and really, really helps you with memory. So okay, great. So maybe your office looks like this. Mine doesn't. Okay, so we're going to have the physical office and tools we need. So we need a place to work. And if you have, I have actually, it's a room. It's one of the bedrooms I converted into an office. And so I can actually use that as business use of home tax deductions and write-offs. So but I actually have a physical, I have a desk, I have, a very physical space, and it depends on your situation. I think some people, maybe you only have a kitchen table to work with, depending on your situation, but have a physical space if possible for your office. And then you'll need, of course, a computer and a printer. I print things off. I print, things like scripts and stuff like that off. So it's good to have a printer. And internet access, of course, is an absolute must. And you need an email where you're doing all your business from. And you need a phone. And with this business, you do need long distance. And so get that figured out, get the best provider for you. Do have three-way capability so that you can have more than one person. You can have three people in a conversation. For example, if you wanted to bring your sponsor in to help to talk to somebody about Ad Rotator, then you can do that. I have three-way capability on my phone, so and I got that right away. I got the long distance and a three-way right away when I got into this whole industry of this online work. So you can do Skype to Skype calls, and I do that actually for overseas. It's just it's because of my cell phone or my phone provider. It goes like land to landline. I have to pay extra for cell phones, so I do the Skype to Skype, like to the UK and to different areas where I have people, and those are free. Skype to Skype calls are free, so it's probably good to get Skype as well. So you need physical things like a day timer, pens, paper, office supplies, notebook, etc. I have several notebooks, and I organize different things in them, and so that I find it's really helpful. Or you can actually have loose leaf if you want, and binders, just however you feel you want to organize certain things. You might want to have certain things like tracking things on the computer as well. It's completely up to you what you want and what you feel comfortable with. But those things are assets to your business. And here's something else I probably should say, like business cards and things like that as well. So here's some other tools. You need messaging scripts, calling scripts, and email script access, where that is on your computer, so that when you're sending emails, we talked about that in the last class. There's, in the Ad Rotator, it's number 13 on the downloads, where it has a whole, like in there's a whole bunch of emails that you can send out, and they're based on the benefits. So you want to make sure you know where that is so you can send it out and it makes sense to what you're doing. And then there's these special training videos. These are these training videos that I'm doing for you right now, because they can be tools that you can use to help you grow your Ad Rotator business. And they are absolutely only for Ad Rotator people. Only people who've paid the $67 are permitted to have the access to these videos that I've been doing. Now, I have a whiteboard, and this helps me to do some monthly goals and things like that. I'll go into it a little bit later, and of course a calculator, so you can add up. You can use it to add up your income or figure out, how many people you want, your goals, like how much you want to make, how many, $67 increments you would need to have those goals, and even also like how many executives you would need. So a calculator is important and helpful, and even when you're doing taxes for your business, you'll need that. So as I mentioned, a tool, I think this video series that I've been putting together for you will help you get organized with AdRotator. And the website creation video, it just occurred to me this morning, you know what? When after you've given me your one up, and you're starting your own business and you're making money with AdRotator, that website creation video would be great to send in the first welcome email to your people, simply because it sort of helps to walk them through, and it gives them the sort of problem solving. If there's problem solving issues, it goes into a lot of things there that might be helpful, and it just might help you too. It might cut down the time that you have to spend with people, and encourage them to watch that and say that the problem solving is in the latter half of that video. So this is an asset and a tool that you definitely are welcome to use in your business, after you give me that one up. All right. So set goals and take action. Of course, there's no point in setting goals, and it's not going to do you any good unless you're going to do something about it. So you have to, what? Everything is based on how much money do you want to make, per week or month? How much money do you want to make? And then, so, you take a look at that, and you take a look at how many do you want to sponsor personally, and then also like with the one-ups, they're going to help with those numbers as well. So you might want to take a look at creating weekly goals or a monthly goal on that. It's completely up to you what you want to do. And what I did is I have a whiteboard, and so I can see it, and I have the names of the people that came in on a monthly basis, and I have different things. Actually, I'm going to be going into that in a minute. So let's just go to the next section. So with the goals, as I'd mentioned, you want to know how many confirmed you're bringing in. And you know what? Become an executive, because guess what? You're making $20 a month for each executive. So if you want $500 a month, that's like 25 executives, right? That are paying you, and 500. So that's actually pretty good. You can move towards that. But also, you know what? When you're bringing people in, you've made the $67 on them as well. Actually, this is not completely accurate. If you're getting a one-up as an executive, then you did not make the $67 on them. Somebody else did, but it actually, counts as that. So this is not quite, and I've cleared up that it's not quite accurate. Okay, so set activity schedule. And of course, that just really depends on your goals. Like, if you want to make 500 a month, then you don't have to work as hard than if you want to make 2,000 or 10,000 a month. There's a difference there on what you have to do, how many people will have to come in, how many executives, how many, personals and one-ups and things like that would have to happen. So it all depends on, what your goals are, and then how much time you have to work AdRotator, because sometimes you can do it full-time or part-time, and you have to work it around your schedule. So set the number of work hours by the day of the week, and set the actual time schedule. And so it's important to be consistent and work your business daily, or at least 5 days a week, especially in the beginning. And so here's just an example, and you can actually decide what your office hours are going to be and post it on your door. So that's what I have here, your office door. That way your family knows not to disturb you during those times unless it's an emergency. Now you have to decide when and how long you're going to work on certain aspects of the business, such as, when are you going to market for the initial marketing for the initial contact. So what does that mean? That's the marketing, like posting ads, working on your Facebook, doing maybe writing articles. That's kind of marketing. And you know what? That kind of marketing, I actually do that during the time when I can't call people because it's, the time of day isn't the right time of day for them. So, or let's say for example, I'm not sleeping well and I'm up at 3 in the morning. Well, you know what? I can do some of this kind of marketing because it's a good time and it fits in and I can't do other things. So kind of look at that too and just when you're juggling and then when to do the follow-up calls and the initial contact too. So the marketing for the initial contact, when to do the initial contact, and also when you're calling people. So you have to know, when it's appropriate, because if you're on the East Coast, you have to remember that you're 3 hours ahead in time from the West, according to the West Coast. I'm in Mountain Time. So if you're on the East Coast, you're 2 hours ahead of me. So, if you want to call me, if you're thinking, oh, it's 9 in the morning, I'm going to call Renita, it's 7 in the morning for me. So it's probably not appropriate to call me at that time. So you also need to know when to work with the people that you've personally sponsored or you've had as one-ups, because you need to work with them too. And again, I've cut back on this work for you too by these series of videos. It's going to help them get organized as well. So that should help save, free up some time for you as well. And then you need to do some personal development. So you have to work on the trainings, to learn some things so that you can add into more marketing things that you're doing, attend trainings like Jerry's trainings, or attend some classes or some meetings that I have, and also some other personal development. I'm going to share with you that a personal development that I do that makes a lot of difference is I listen to Joyce Meyer Ministries, and I find so much. I know she's like a Bible teacher, and I don't know, you might think, oh, Renita, but you know what, like she had this thing, and it was on yesterday, it was on responsibility. And it's just she also said hope is powerful, and there's all kinds of things that she says that to me make so much sense in this whole industry, because people are people. And it's really interesting, she said today too, people will help you, but you also have to do your part. For example, your sponsor will help you, but you've got to be there too. You've got to meet your sponsor. And if there's things that your sponsor can only do so much, and you have to do the work if you want this, if you want to have success. And so also, here's a couple more things. The more things you do, the easier it is. So, even with doing and calling people, the more you call people, the easier it is to call people. It's worth it. It may not be easy, but it's worth it. And she also said that she talked about Jesus, and she said that he helped those who came to him. So in a sense too, that you'll probably find this in your business too. You'll have people that they'll work with you closely, and those are the people you can really help. There are people that will come into your ad rotator business, and they may never ever work with you, and so you can't help them. You can only help the people that come to you, and there's that possibility of being able to show them things, help them, test their site, make sure that it works. So work with the people that are willing to work with you. And you can contact some people. You can try to see if they'll work with you, but don't spend a lot of time if with them. Spend time with the people that are willing to work, and hopefully the unwilling people will wake up sometime and come and meet you. So, let's just go to the next slide. So all of this depends, your schedule depends on if you're doing this part-time or full-time, and if you have to fit it around your job schedule. So again, factor in the time zones, overseas versus your location too. I have some people in overseas, so I have someone and in New Zealand, and it's really quite hard because he's 18 hours ahead of me in schedule. So you're trying to figure out when he's awake or when he might be around, and it's pretty hard. So it's almost, you might want to, if somebody wants to come in and they're that far away, you might want to maybe give that to somebody else who can maybe take care of them better, or if you feel you can work with them, it's a choice that you have to make. But really be, um, I guess be respectful of time and make sure that you're calling people when it is appropriate to call them. Take a day off. You have to take a day off. Otherwise, I will tell you, you will be working all the time. And I take Sundays off. And so Sundays also, it's not a good day to call people. It's usually sort of a family day. So it's a really good day to take Sunday off. And you know what? I'm going to be just a little bit considerate that some people might be on this and they have a different culture and maybe their best day to take off would be Saturday. So, think about that and also think about other people that you have in your advocator business and which days are the best days for them. But you need to have a day off. Otherwise, you need that. If you don't have a day off, you'll get run down. And so that's not good because then you won't be good to anyone. Okay, so take a day off, pick a day, and take a day off. All right, let's just take a look at a typical day. We want to remember the 6 daily tasks. So I just added on, I said ad rotator should be in the top 3. Let's say you have a job that you're going to, you got a doctor's appointment that day and you want to get ad rotator in. And then there's some other things here that, you can fill in according to your schedule. And, maybe there's something like your child has a concert that night or there's different things going on. So this is, you can have a schedule like this. And then what I did is I took like 6 daily tasks and very specific as for ad rotator. So you can, put ad rotator in your schedule like this. And then within the schedule, within ad rotator, you can write down the important things you wanted to get done that day. So here's like calling new leads. That's really super important because the more people you have in your funnel, and the more people you have looking at it, and most people do not sign up right away, so you have to do to call new people, do the follow-ups, and that is so important to keep getting new and new people in there, especially if you've got a big goal with ad rotator. That way then people, like, they'll pop in at certain times and you'll always have new people come in, and you will have better success. So kind of be really conscientious, choose your marketing methods well. This is more the direct method here, and also you'll have some indirect methods where you'll be doing returning calls when people come in and they fill in your form and that. So you want to call different people that your one-ups or you're personally sponsored and see if they need help with ad rotator. And as I mentioned before, they have to be willing to work with you. And if they're not, call and see, and maybe if they're not that willing, call in a month. Just and don't worry about it. Work with the people who are ready and willing to work with you right now. Now, here's something: post classified ads, Facebook page posts, do just one technique. Here's something else. Attends, let's say it's a Wednesday, I'll attend Jerry's class. So I'll have these on as, these are just an example. So you can put on here whatever makes sense to you. This is just an example there. Now, Tim Sales, he's a trainer an MLM trainer. And you know what he did? Like when at first he wasn't full-time, but part-time, he actually did calls during his lunch break. And so, you can fit things in. You can find ways of fitting things in. And he also gave up some of his activities so that he could devote more time to his new business. And it worked very, very well for him because it was very important to him. His business was important, and it was important to him to make money. So it's like finding time in your schedule, and you may have to take things off so that you can have more time for ad rotator. So yeah, it's just, again, this is all personal, very personal. Now, you need to organize what you need to do for each task, like physical objects like pens and business cards, computer, phone, or whatever. And you need to have access to techniques and training that you need to do the tasks. For example, if you're setting up your Facebook viral business page, you're going to have to need access to that training on how to do it. And you might need reminders on, how do you do posts? Let's say you just first got it up and, you're not used to doing it, or maybe you did it a few months ago and you need to go back, well, I don't remember how to do it, then you can go back to the training and then you can move forward with that. So, you know what? Here's also when you're out and about. This is also a situation. You can plan for a business meeting, a business coffee or lunch or whatever. Or and then if you're doing that, you definitely want internet access and you want to have business cards and notebook and pen, like you want to take some notes and things like that. And so you definitely want to have a lot of this. But if you're just, you're doing grocery shopping and stuff like that, and remember we kind of talked about striking up a conversation with somebody. Well, you might, sometimes, one time I was going through, it was a Walmart checkout, and I just happened to be chatting like I chat with people, and somehow it came out that this guy was looking to do work online. The cashier was. So I gave him a business card, and I actually I didn't have a business card. I just gave him I wrote my phone number on a piece of paper, and he did call me, which is kind of very, very interesting. So you never know. It's actually nice if you had a business card, it would be more professional. But if you don't have a business card, guess what? Piece of paper, you can get their phone number if they're willing to give it to you. And that was the cashier at Walmart. So you never know. So it's always good to be prepared. Okay, and it's good to set up a tracking system so that you know what you did and you know what you want to do in the future. And so I use a notebook and I post daily tasks and appointments and I check off when something's completed. But I know some of you guys are really computer savvy. You know I'm non-techie, right? So I'm going to use the old-fashioned stuff that I feel comfortable with. But if you are techie and you have a computer tracking system, be my guest. Use that. But it's really important to keep track because you want to keep track of the sign-in forms, the contacts, appointments, attending the appointments and registration. And you know what? For setting appointments, there's something interesting that Jerry said the other day. And he said that you can kind of have it like 7-ish. So approximately, well, I'll call you around 7. And that way it gives you a little bit of leeway. And sometimes what he does is he'll call like 10 to 7, just so to catch him off guard a little bit, just so that you do actually get a hold of the person. So, I mean, if you want to make a definite appointment, I will call you at 7 o'clock tomorrow. You could do that, or you could say, you know what, I'm going to call you around, say, 7-ish, a little, maybe a little later. So just around that time, then you can kind of mess with it a little bit. And then, I mean, you've been honest and you've done what you said, like 10 to 7 is 7-ish. So anyways, it's completely up to you. But of course, you want to attend appointments, and you want to make sure that you know how to do the registration, the one up yours that you've got that handled, and help people with that. So I have a special, you might want to have a special notebook. I've been using just loose leaf paper during phone interviews because sometimes it doesn't go anywhere, but it helps to help you remember who people are. And sometimes I forget to do this, or I haven't been doing this, but it makes such a difference. And I realize I really have to do this because then I can actually keep track on that when I talk to them, and when I plan to talk to them again, it actually helps me to remember people a lot better because everybody is different. Every phone call is different. And we talked about that individualizing things. So this will help you to keep track as well. I mentioned I had a whiteboard, and I've got it now. I put up for March here. Yeah, the month, and then the goal, the number of people that I would want to bring in. And so it's up to you. And what I do is I actually inflate my goal so that I'd rather shoot for the stars and hit the trees than shoot for the trees and kind of stay in the grass. So anyways, you can have a goal, you can put down a goal, an actual goal, like if you think you can bring in 2 people, and you can put that there. But why don't you can say, I'm going to bring in 20, 25 people or whatever, or whatever, even higher than that if you want. And then just if that can help you give you an incentive to work towards that, just do that. It's completely up to you. So you just put the total, the countdown. I sort of have, if I had here 20 or something, then count down to total. If I don't have anybody, there's 20. And if I have a person, then there's 19, 18, 17, 16. The date the person paid, the name of the person, if it's a personal or one up, I have that as well. And I also, on my whiteboard, I post the number of people I personally sponsored overall since I started Ad Rotator and how many executives I have. And I actually add to the list. I keep on adding on to the list of the executives that I have because it sort of helps me to see too. I have it right here. I have this big board and I can see it every day as to what's going on. And it kind of helps to keep me motivated and helps me to know, what my goals are. And I visually see it. So there's a lot of positiveness to that. Now, there's a process, steps, and where are you at today? And I actually have a download in that. And you know what? You can actually, it's an Excel worksheet, and you can, when you start getting your business going, you can actually put your business in that to keep track of the process. So you'll be getting this, so you don't have to worry about writing it down. And so here's the process to success. Of course, it's a website creation, the marketing methods, getting organized, set activity schedule, and then you get into sign-ins, then the initial contacts, set appointments, attend appointments, registration on the sponsor site. You have to give your one-up, and then you apply to become qualified. And then, of course, the payment is made to the sponsor. And then after the sponsor is paid and you're qualified, you've given your one up, then you will be given the link and the password to the portal. And then you can download that and upgrade your site. And then there's actually a tracking system in that in the qualified site. And then, you know what? You can register for an executive membership. At this point, you can become an executive member. And I highly recommend it because of just the extra things that you have, the extra training. We're doing web machines. We've got, you saw that motion landing page. And also, it's just that then you set yourself up so that when your people become qualified, then they can become an executive right away. And then, you can start making money and, going and moving forward as an executive and getting that monthly income from it too. So it's well worth it to do that. Once you're organized, put 80% of your activities into income producing activities. And that is, if you do that, you will see. If you do something right long enough, you're going to see results. And if you do that, if you focus, just laser focus on, calling people, getting your marketing out there, marketing, calling, doing the follow-ups, those are all income producing activities, working with the people that you have, because they are going to give you a one-up. And so that is, again, it's like marketing. It's all the aspect of marketing that will help you produce money. That's what income producing is. It's making money. And that's the bottom line on all of this as well, isn't it? So, of course, it's important to be consistent with everything you do. I said, especially with the indirect marketing, but, be consistent with everything. You have a 90-day plan. Well, have at least that, with your marketing, but you know what, be consistent with this. Have a 1 year, 2, 3-year plan. Be consistent. Be here for the long run. Stay with Ad Rotator. Work at it and build it up, because you will be building up those executives on a monthly. And you'll be happy. A lot of people, I think we talked about this before, that they go and they get distracted and they get into something else. That's not being organized. That's being distracted, and it's going to divide attention and take you away from success. So be consistent and work your business. Work your business on a daily basis or within that schedule that you plan for yourself. Confidence, it's important to realize that confidence comes with action and with doing. So that's what getting organized and following through on it is all about. So if you want to get better at sponsoring, then the best thing you can do is work your business. Now, I want to talk about habits. I want to share, I have this habit when I get up, and you know what, I turn my computer on all the time, and I look at my emails first, and then I go to Facebook. And guess what? I end up spending time looking at stuff, and probably that I should do that. I want to see if I have people there. There's some people, and I link with them on Facebook. They're, in business with me in Adrotator. But I do more. I kind of do social stuff there. And it's a bad habit because I should do that on my time off and my breaks and not first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, I should, make sure I have my breakfast and I, take care of myself rather than getting glued to Facebook. So that's a habit. And so, in order to break bad habits, you need to focus on good habits. So don't even worry about if you're going to be looking at habits, and this is probably a good topic for another video, but with habits, make a list if you know of your bad habits, and then put beside the bad habit a corresponding good habit that the habit you want. So you know what? Don't think about the bad habit. Just completely focus on the good. Focus on the thing that you want. And you know what? By focusing on the good, you'll be actually, whatever you focus on grows. So you'll be focused on doing good things. And in doing that, the bad habit will take care of itself. You don't even have to focus or think about it. Just focus on your good habit, and it'll do you well. Now, please remember to take care of your needs. And so get a good night's sleep. Make sure you have that. Eat. You know what? Sometimes I get so focused in what I'm doing, I forget to have lunch. And that's not good because then I'm going, oh, I'm not feeling very well. I'm kind of dizzy. I got low blood sugar. And then I go, oh, yeah, lunch was 2 hours ago. So it's always good to make sure that, schedule, if you've organized your time, schedule breaks in it. And it's actually good to take breaks, lunch breaks and take breaks. So you can have a cup of tea or something, or actually it's good to stretch, because if you've been sitting for a long time, you might be bending over, you've got bad posture and everything like that. You do need to just take care of your body. Drink lots of water. I should put water in here as another point, because that's really going to help you stay healthy. So we're thinking about eating good, healthy things here, exercise, put exercise in your schedule, and make sure you get good sleep. Maybe you have to have a nap in the afternoon. That's okay. Schedule that in, but please remember to take good care of yourself, because this is all about good things in life, and this is all part of it. Now, the very last thing I want to do is the victory pose again. I'm going to try it again because I think that I have, let's go to here. I think I know that I blew it on that first thing and I have to redo it, but it's a good place to stop. I want you to do that hands up in the air with that victory pose, because you know what? It's going to make your arms, it's exercise. So it's going to be some arm. So let's do this. I think I figured out how to record this. So I'm going to put this, you probably hear me in the distance. It's because I'm putting the mic just by my speaker here. So let's have this go forward. There, I think it's going to work now.
Although champion athletes normally perform the victory pose after winning, if you do it before you tackle an important challenge, you'll have a better chance of achieving your goal.
Believe it or not, something as simple as striking the victory pose just before you walk in to negotiate a salary with your boss can make a real difference.
These kinds of postures send a signal to other people that say, you are confident, you are powerful, and they will respond to that.
Researchers at Harvard University proved it by conducting a somewhat strange-looking experiment.
In this experiment, researchers took a group of people and put them through a high-stakes situation, a job interview. But first, they asked them to do something unusual, to spend a couple of minutes alone striking a pose. Half of them were told to assume weak poses, so with their heads down, their shoulders hunched, and their arms together. The others were asked to do so-called power poses, to lift up their arms in victory, keep their chin up, and be very expansive. After 2 minutes, everyone was led into a job interview. Later, when the interviewers were asked who they'd recommend for the job, they tended to choose those people who'd done the victory poses. They were rated as more confident and enthusiastic. Somehow, carrying out the victory pose before the interview had a direct impact on how well the interview went. So the big question is, why did the victory pose make them more successful?
The answer is hidden in our evolutionary past.
The victory pose has been around probably for millions of years. When you look at this pose from an evolutionary perspective, look at what's happening. You're exposing yourself. You've got a vulnerability to your heart and other internal organs. You would have to be supremely confident to do something like this.
Okay, excellent. So, okay, I'm back. And I just want to thank you so much for joining me today in today's class. And I hope that it has helped you to get organized. And I hope that it will make a difference for you and that you can move forward with your ad rotator business. Remember about friends, that they might interrupt you. And you know what? It's time. You have to be organized and have that inner drive to take action. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me in this series of class and this one today on getting organized. So have an amazing day, and we'll talk to you soon, and take care. Bye now.